God. Yeah. 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 And away we go. Wednesday edition of the show. All across America on SportsMap Radio. We are worldwide on the SportsMap Radio app. We got a lot to do over the next 3 hours, but we always do. We'll be keeping an eye on Kyrie and Luka. My name is Luka. I live on the second floor. They make their debut together tonight. It'll be a fun show. It was a song in the late 80s, early 90s. My name is Luka. I live on the second floor. Yeah. It's actually a pretty depressing song. If you go and listen to the lyrics, it has nothing to do with anything happy. That's all I'll say. It is not a pleasant song. But it does remind me of Luka. So they make their debut together tonight, and we'll see. How long does it take for them to adjust? Can they even coexist? And that's a huge question mark. Kurt Helin's going to stop by the show tonight and join us from Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com. I talked to him on, Monday, and I said, hey, Kurt, it's NBA trade deadline week. What day can I get you? He was like, none. So I basically said, hey, can you carve out some time for me this week? And he said, I'm at the Laker game Tuesday. I'm at the Laker game Thursday. And it's NBA trade deadline week. I have no time. He did make time for me, and I appreciate that. Big announcement, by the way. Stan Van Gundy on the show next Tuesday. Yep. Stan Van will be on the show. We'll actually tape it earlier in the day because I think he has a broadcast that night. But yeah, Stan and I will shoot the you-know-what next Tuesday night. Looking forward to that. Have him on the show. Good friend of mine. And we'll get his thoughts on all things NBA. And he got to witness history last night. I mean, how lucky. I'm sure they make these assignments somewhat in advance, but how lucky when you find out you get the LeBron James record-breaking game. Brian Anderson, who I'm kind of on, and because Brian Anderson hates the Yankees. I listened to, he hates the Yankees. No, hates the Yankees. By the way, that's the voice of Brian McDonald. He's our producer, engineer extraordinaire, who waits because on all the other shows he probably works on, he doesn't get to talk nearly as much as he gets to talk on this show. So as soon as he gets on this show, he's like, oh my God, I can actually talk on the air. Patrick Creighton's a good dude. By the way, ask him how his tooth is doing. He's been posting on, you work on every show except mine. Yeah, great. I get you once a week. Yeah, I guess so. So he's got a tooth issue, and he's been posting about it on Twitter. How they wanted like $7,000 to take a tooth out of his mouth that was cracked, and he's like, I'll just leave it there. Yeah, let me tell you, I've had a tooth extracted before, and it definitely didn't cost $7,000. It was I've been hit by a Mack truck. Getting a tooth pulled, most painful thing I've ever had done in my life. The dentist actually, it was one of the ones in the very back, up top in the very back. And, oh. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, it's the worst. No. took my tooth. The dentist actually kept yelling at me to stop screaming so loud because I was going to scare the patients in the waiting room. Swear to God. True story. Yes. No. Literally, he was absolutely victim blaming. So Kurt Helin will stop by the show. We'll talk with him in the first hour, about 25 minutes from now. He's our 2-for-1. I had something in my mouth. And then old friend of mine, Robert Littal, Black Sports Online. He will join us in an hour and 25 minutes from Phoenix, from the Super Bowl. And we'll get all the scoop and skinny about what is going on around Phoenix this week. Who's doing what, so to speak. He's sort of into the gossipy sports stuff. So we'll get some thoughts with him on what's going on down there. Also, the commissioner had his yearly press conference. Let me tell you something. Let me just vent here for the next 7 minutes. So they have the commissioner's press conference today. This year, he does a press conference once a year. He does a press conference about as often as Donald Trump used to, which is to say, not at all. Unreal today. So you've got Kaylee Hartung from Amazon Prime, one of the NFL's media partners. So so you get 15 minutes of her lobbing softballs at him, right? So you get 15 minutes of that. What if you were a tree? Which kind of tree would you be? That sort of stuff. Then you get the first question out of the box for media. Mind you, this is a media press event. It's Travis Kelce's mom. I swear to God. Oh, what's it like having children? And are your parents proud of you? And I'm just like, are you bleeping me right now? Is this really happening? Like, the media gets one time a year to grill the commissioner and actually ask him questions that matter. And I've got Travis Kelce's mom standing up there asking questions about God knows what. And it was just, and at this point I just looked around and I said, okay, Donna Kelce is asking questions. I know this isn't really going to be taken all that seriously, but it actually did. The first two questions were pretty much softballs from the media. Not that Donna Kelce is media. And supposedly she's like a rock star down there because of Travis and Jason playing in the Super Bowl. So all anybody wants to do is talk to mom. And finally they get around to asking some questions. And here's the only thing I could come up with. And I hate to use such strong language, but this is the difference between owning your own show and not working for ESPN or Fox Sports or NBC or CBS or Amazon Prime. Anybody that has a direct relationship with the NFL can't say this, because if they do, they risk the ire of the commissioner. And, our relationships with these sports leagues matter. Roger Goodell is nothing more than a propagandist. That's it. And while many will point to Rob Manfred as like the worst of the four major sports commissioners, make no mistake about it, it's Goodell. It's Goodell. I watched him up there today, sidestep, bob, and weave. He should have been a boxer, because all he was doing was he was like Floyd Mayweather in the ring. He couldn't throw any punches, so he was sidestepping, he was bobbing, he was weaving, he was ducking, he was juking. He was saying everything except what we know to be true. One, your officiating sucks. He had the nerve to sit there and say that the officiating in this league has never been better. And as soon as you hear those words come out of his mouth, everything else that follows is irrelevant, because it's already not true, because the premise by which he starts is already untrue. Everybody in that room, including Roger Goodell, knows there is a problem with the officiating in the NFL. The fact that they're not full-time, the fact that some of them are like installing house alarms in their off-season, that they're probably managing a Barnes & Noble during the offseason, because they're not full-time. Unlike all the other sports, they're not full-time. And this is a huge problem for this league, and they just continue to go on. And And guess what? Roger Goodell can do it. And you know why? He can continue to give these BS answers about, well, we're doing so much in terms of, hiring black coaches and getting black people in the league. And you don't see him in our back office, working some 9-to-5er in New York. You don't see those people. No. So when you talk about black people being hired in the league, you got to include that. No. You're talking about head coaches. You're talking about Jim Trotter. God bless Jim Trotter, who had the moment of the press conference today. He stood up. Now, Jim Trotter works for the NFL. Jim Trotter works as a writer for NFL media. Okay? You cannot be more connected to the league. He gets up and says, hey, I asked you this question a year ago and nothing's happened. Why don't we have anybody running, anybody with anything to do with NFL media? We have no black full-timers in the newsroom. We don't have a black person running NFL media when we're covering a league that's predominantly played by black men. Why don't you have more black representation in NFL media? And Roger Goodell passed the buck. Well, I don't run NFL media. The buck stops with you. This guy is an outright con artist. And the only reason he's there is because he makes the owners lots of money. The owners don't care if there's black people in NFL media. They don't care if there's more black head coaching representation. We already know that. All you got to do is look around the league. Hey, Carolina. Hey, Indianapolis. Hey, Houston, firing black coaches after 1 year. Good luck to D'Amico Ryans. This Goodell presser today was a joke. It's like communist propaganda. You can't believe anything coming out of the guy's mouth. We're back with more on the cash-in. So on Sunday, we will have Eric Dickerson. Thank you for retweeting that. We'll have Eric Dickerson, Christian Okoye, Cedric Ceballos, maybe a couple other folks. In person at the event. Yeah. Well, your time. Yeah. Noon to 3 Pacific, 3 to 6 Eastern. Yeah. Yeah. Desert Diamond Casino in Glendale, right down the street from the stadium. Yeah. I'm going to try not to gamble away everything I'm being paid to do the show. Why? How long does it take you to get home? The show's over at 6. I mean, the show's over a half hour before the game. Yeah, you should be close. Won't be too bad. Thing is, I have to decide whether I'm gonna stay the night in Phoenix or finish the show. Yeah, but I mean that's not till I'm not on the air till 7 o'clock at night, so it's only a 4-hour drive. Yeah, that's only 4 hours. By the way, best wishes to WWE Hall of Famer Jerry Lawler. Did you see this, Brian? Recovering from a stroke in Fort Myers, Florida, according to a statement posted on his Twitter account Wednesday. Had another stroke back in 2018. 2012, he had that frightening heart attack on Monday Night Raw. Oh, my God. No, it was the one when he was ringside, when he was on the mic. Remember? Yeah. I remember just Michael Cole. Michael Cole was cool as a cucumber, man. He had Jerry Lawler having a heart attack next to him, and he just kept on going. It could very well be. Oh, this is terrible. They said his speech is limited, but with rehab, he'll regain a full recovery. Had photos of Lawler in the hospital with legendary manager Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South, who I saw with Hulk Hogan during the Raw 35. Yeah, Raw 30 or 35, whatever it was. Yeah. He thanks everyone for the continued prayers. We'll be back in the near future. He's 73. It's time. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Did you watch it the same time? Oh, my God. You must have watched it like the same time I did. How rare. That's hilarious. I watched it maybe a week ago. Yes, I watched it on the Sunday night after the conference championship games because I was already on Peacock, and I turned it on and I said, "Oh, let me start watching this and see if it's interesting." Oh my God, was that great! What a fantastic documentary. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's when you knew it was going to be good. No, it's not. Kurt Helin will join us coming up in 13 minutes. Pro basketball talk at NBCSports.com. Get some thoughts with him on the trade deadline. There is a big trade that has come down in the last couple of hours. D'Angelo Russell is going back to L.A. Going to play for the Lakers. Very interesting. Lakers just trying to do something here before the deadline. I wonder what else we'll see between now and this time tomorrow, or obviously a little earlier than this time tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But Russell Westbrook is out. D'Angelo Russell is in, and we'll see what happens. You know what I didn't hear asked about that much at the press conference today? They did talk about the concussion thing. And again, Goodell was spinning. He said that, there's more concussions, but what classifies as a concussion now is different, and that's why you might see more of them. It's not that your game is just insanely dangerous. It's not that the brain study out of Massachusetts, I think it is, that tested 374 brains of former NFL players that had died. Out of the 374, 371 of them had CTE. Think that over for a second. When you think about the future of the NFL and guys playing and how long you play, Tom Brady played for 20-something years, for crying out loud. But you think about all the guys in this league, and some will play 10 years, some will play 5, some will play 7. But if you've got a chance to cash out early, why on earth would you even bother playing a long career when you know the catastrophic effects on your brain? This is the story nobody wants to talk about in Super Bowl week, but you're damn well going to get it from me because nobody's going to talk about it because that the powers that be don't want the networks talking about it. They don't want to hear their business partners talking about it. But you've got CTE, Boston University's CTE Center, said they found CTE in nearly 92% of former NFL players studied. I mean, that's a stunning number when you think about it. 345 of the 376 former NFL players. I'll make sure I get the numbers right. 345 out of 376 players that donated their brains to science. By the way, I'd donate mine. They wouldn't find much in it. They'd be like, did this guy do anything with his life? Can we, we're not giving you anything for this. Yes. Yeah, but here's the problem. Forget even testing them when they get in the league. The amount of brain trauma, the amount of times your brains get scrambled. Just think, how many times have you seen videos, because, parents are idiots, and post videos of their kid who's playing pee-wee football blasting some other kid who's, running for a touchdown or something like that. Between pee-wee football, midget football, middle school, high school, and then college. And by the time you get to the pros, the damage may already be done. Keep in mind, the NFL has the best doctors in the world. They have the best screening in the world. How many kids are getting concussions in high school and don't even know it? How many kids are being concussed at the junior level, at the college level, at the high school level, at the middle school level? Their brains are already being damaged before they even get to the NFL. Now you get to the NFL, and there could be all the screening in the world and self-reporting and yada, yada, yada. It doesn't matter. And to me, what's most astonishing is, this is what's most astonishing to me. I say this all the time, and this is why while I'll talk about it tonight for a few minutes on the show, you can't belabor it. And it's kind of what Brian was saying. Does anything change? Because you have an entire league of players. You've got a huge crop of talented college players. All of them know the score by now. They all know the risks. They know that 345 out of 376 brains donated to Boston University. They know this, and they know that all of these brains are damaged and have CTE, and now you're still going to play. Like, guys just don't care. It's almost like, let's be honest, it's almost like selling your soul to the devil, isn't it? It's almost like saying, I'm going to give you 10 years in the league, 5 years in the league, whatever, millions of dollars, but when you're done, your brains belong to me. And I just get to abuse you for the rest of your life. You're eating peas through a straw. You can't remember the conversations you had earlier that morning. I own you. And keep this in mind. A 2018 study of brains that were donated to the Framingham Heart Study detected CTE in only one of 164 samples. The sole case belonged to a former college football player. Now you've got 345 out of 376 brains that were donated to Boston University. And again, nobody going to talk about this week. You can hear Roger Goodell sit up there and talk about that. And it's alarming. But again, you could sound the alarm. It's almost like somebody sounding the fire alarm and everybody's just hanging out in the building. They're like, the fire won't catch me. Yeah. No, they're not. You're right. But I'm going to still scream about it. I'm still going to say something about it because these guys aren't, chess pieces. They're actual human beings. And when you're done rooting for them in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 20 years, if you're Tom Brady, they got to go on and live. And it's becoming obvious that the repetitive head impacts that are the top risk for CTE are so prevalent in this game, and it just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. It's sad. All right, we'll switch gears. NBA trade deadline is tomorrow. There's already some activity. Knicks have made a trade. The Knicks are on the board prior to the trade deadline. Let's go. Kurt Helin, Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com, stops by in a couple minutes. You'll want to stick around for that. I'm Jason Page. Good to have you with us tonight. Wednesday edition of the Cash In all across America on SportsMap Radio. Yeah, thank you. Uh-huh. 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 Just arguing with our guest. I am dancing with myself. Yeah, that's fine. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Wake up call. Let's see if Kurt is willing to do 2 segments or not. Trying. All right, let's spend 10 good minutes with Kurt Helin, pro basketball talk at NBCSports.com, and I am the luckiest guy in the world to be able to get him on trade deadline eve. I said, hey, what's going on in the Mavericks game? He's like, are you kidding? I can't even watch it. I'm too busy covering trades. And literally, it's a great time to get you on. Maybe not for you, but for me, because the Lakers made a deal tonight. Now the Knicks have made a deal. Let's start with the Lakers deal. They get D'Angelo Russell back. What's behind all of it?
It's just an upgrade. They're going to try something crazy, Jason. You know what they're going to do? They're going to put shooting around LeBron James. See how that goes. D'Angelo Russell is just a better shooter, a much better player than he was when he was in Los Angeles before. Insert your own, I hope he deleted Snapchat joke here, but look, he's a more mature player on the court. He is a 39% shooter from three. He's looked really good the last couple of 3 weeks. They've turned more and more of the offense in Minnesota over to Anthony Edwards, and he's actually done pretty well off ball. Like and kind of in that secondary role, which is kind of what he'll do a lot more of with the Lakers, not taking the ball out of that LeBron James's hand and Anthony Davis's hand. So that works. Malik Beasley can shoot. Jared Vanderbilt they get, who brings backup 4-5 type of guy, versatile defender. And they gave up a first, lightly protected 1 through 4, and they got off of Russell Westbrook and all the chemistry and problem issues there. So Lakers did really well in this trade, really well. And with all the moves they made, they're back to being one of those teams where, like, they're 13th, but man, nobody wants to see them come to playoffs.
No, nobody wants to see them in the playoffs at all. But God, that effort last night. I mean, defensively, that was as embarrassing an effort. And I know, Oklahoma City's on the come and all of that, and that's great. But I mean, my God, I mean, they'd given up 105, I think, through 3 quarters last night.
Yeah, no, it was awful. And I will throw this out, by the way. Gilgeous-Alexander is just smooth. He's just so good. But the Lakers defense was horrific, and there was no rim protection. And this gets back to where Jared Vanderbilt helps a little. Anthony Davis, I know there's plenty of talk about his lack of, not, I guess, being demonstrative enough or whatever. That's fine. He's got to defend better than that. They have to rim protect better than that. They have to. That was not the game they needed. They're not good enough. Even with this trade, they're not good enough unless those two guys are elite every night, and Anthony Davis kind of hasn't been that. So how to get back to that, I think you're going to – this and the break gives them a little jolt, but there's we keep waiting for the jolt from them. We keep waiting for the jolt from Golden State in the West. We keep waiting for – Phoenix will turn it around at some point, right? We keep waiting for these teams. Somebody's going to, and I don't know. Right now, Denver's the team to beat, and does Denver intimidate anyone?
Nope, they certainly don't. Talking with Kurt Helin, NBA writer, NBCSports.com, pro basketball talk at NBCSports.com. If you want to find his work there, gives us some time on the show tonight. I'll get back to LeBron if we have time on the back end. I want to get into some of these deals that are going on. The Blazers are dealing Josh Hart to the Knicks. That news coming out tonight. Cam Reddish it's amazing how he just never worked out in New York. The guy's still only 23 years old. And it feels like he's been in the league forever by now, but he's only 23 years old, and he couldn't stick in Atlanta. Now he doesn't stick in New York. I mean, what's the deal with Cam Reddish?
Yeah, he was in Thibodeau's dog. When he got there, I'm like, oh, this should be a fit. This is a guy they can use, and he has been in the doghouse and barely played of late, and maybe that's what Portland's looking for, is some wing athleticism and roll the dice on him. But he has not impressed coaches wherever he's been. And, you're not in the practices, but whatever he is doing, he's not earning his way onto the court. He is not playing well enough when he is on the court to make that work. So I'll tell you, I think the best thing, I'm just finishing up in our tracker. I was just putting together the news and notes on it. And it's like, I found Jared Vanderbilt. Jalen Brunson was at Vanderbilt. That was somehow hard to say tonight. Back at college, I guess getting his jersey retired or something. Somebody shows him the tweet saying the deal got done. And he's walking around, arms in the air, using words I cannot use on your radio show to express his excitement. He's pumped up, and I think the Knicks fans are in the same place. Like, Josh Hart is just a rock-solid rotation player that you can count on night in and night out. And you had to give up a first to get him, but you can count on him. And that's the kind of guy they could use more of.
All right, so the Lakers, are they done as far as the trade deadline? What else is sitting out there? I know Anunoby is out there. Fred VanVleet is out there. What other deals are you monitoring and expect we could see before tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah, I don't know if the Lakers are going to get much more done. I think that I don't know that they have the assets to really nail down much anymore. We'll see. Or anything big anyway. Something on the fringes, maybe. That Toronto remains, and I imagine I've said this to you. I believe anybody talking basketball you've had on has said this. Everybody's watching Toronto. Everybody's waiting. Is it just going to be Gary Trent Jr., or are we going to get to see some of the other guys there? Are we going to get to see? Is OG Anunoby's kind of the swing? Fred VanVleet is really interesting. There's a lot of teams calling about him. A lot of teams would like to have him at the point, including the Los Angeles Clippers, who are rumored to want Russell Westbrook if he gets bought out. But Fred VanVleet's the gold standard. I don't know what they're going to do. Nobody's quite sure what they're going to do here. We're 24 hours from the deadline, and they're talking to a lot of people, but nobody's quite sure who might be on the move. I don't think it'll be Pascal Siakam. I kind of thought for a while that Fred VanVleet would be on the move, but that might be the biggest name tomorrow. That's the guy to kind of watch. And outside of that, it's probably going to be smaller stuff, some stuff on the fringes.
Kurt Helin joining us, Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com. All right, the Kyrie deal, your take. Does he fit with Luka? Is it just a wait and see? And it's almost like a rental for Mark Cuban and this Mavericks team, and sort of take a flyer and see if you can make a deep run into the postseason and convince Kyrie to stay on a deal that's more friendly towards the team. Give me your take on the Kyrie deal.
Yeah, I think I think the Laker move, giving up the first that they were so hesitant to give up, and the Kyrie move have one thing in common, which is what we said a couple minutes ago. Denver's not scaring anybody. Yeah, well, Denver's good. Don't get me wrong, but there isn't. If those teams were in the East and they were looking up and seeing Boston and Milwaukee, I think they'd be hesitant to make a move. But there's this idea that the West is still wide open, so why not take a flyer? Kyrie, I think that what you're going to get is elite offense in Dallas. Kyrie Irving meshing with Luka Doncic should lead to a very potent offense. They've got shooting everywhere. Reggie Bullock's 5 of 6 from 3 already. Now he's tearing it up. They've got shooting everywhere. They got bigs who space the floor. They are going to be really hard to defend. And they were also 24th in defense and just sent the best defender out of the building. So I don't, and this is kind of how I feel about everybody out west now, which is they can win a series. Luka's already a problem. Now their offense, they're just going to score a ton of points. But do they have the versatility and the kind of if you're going to win 3 series and make it to the finals, you kind of have to play different styles at points, and you've got to be able to match up different ways. And I just don't think they do. I think that they're kind of a one-trick pony, but maybe that's enough. We'll see. We'll see. I like the roll of the dice, though. I think that's, hey, go for it and see what happens. I'm really curious what happens this summer. How long do you want to be in the Kyrie Irving business, man?
You know my answer to that. I don't want to be in it at all. Like I said, I wouldn't even give him 1-year deals. I'd give him 1-week deals because he's that flaky. I got 45 seconds. What was it like to be a witness to history last night?
The energy in the building was fantastic. And I mean, you followed them. I'm not sure Laker fans totally embraced LeBron before last night. He came on the heels of Kobe. His one title when they didn't win that first year. They win the title in the bubble. Nobody's at the game. There's nobody in Staples. You're watching it at home alone on TV. You couldn't even go to bars because of the thing. This was the first time I'd really seen the city and the Laker fans really embrace LeBron that way. And it was honestly, it felt like a finals game in there. It was electric.
Yeah, and it almost felt like they were re-embracing Kareem again too in that moment.
Yes.
It felt like it was
Yes.
his night. It felt like it was his moment as much as it was LeBron's last night in so many regards. The respect and love shown for the captain. Listen, I always appreciate it, Kurt. I know you're extremely busy. Thanks for coming by. We'll talk again soon. Thank you, my friend.
Take care.
Kurt Helin, Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com, giving us some time on the show. Got as much as I could possibly get out of him in 10 minutes tonight. More to do on the other side. We'll update you on our live betting game of the night, which is the Mavericks and Clippers. And I'm going to tell you how to win $1 million. Oh, that's next. We'll get back into the NFL in the next hour of the show, and including some good news for those who like it when the NFL flexes. We'll get into that into the next show. Wow, UConn women tonight lose their second straight game for the first time in 30 years. UConn women. Wow, they lost to Marquette? How do you lose to the Marquette women's team isn't that good, is it? Eesh. Yay. That's rough. I mean, they lost a close one to South Carolina on Sunday in Hartford, but last time UConn women, I mean, this is crazy to think about. When you think about the dominance of UConn women's basketball. I know, most people don't care, but it's got to be mentioned. Last time the Huskies lost 2 in a row, March of 1993. It's insane. Since then, UConn had been 74-0 after losses. It's pretty good. 1993, I was a sophomore in high school. In WWF, no less. Get the F out. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, though, when you think about that. And that's 30 years. Gino Auriemma is just amazing. He's such a great coach. Wow, The Rock was still trying to play football. Now he's a movie star. Think about how much has changed in 30 years. 30 years ago, I was 15 years old. 15 years old. Live betting tonight. Mavericks lead the Clippers. That's our live betting game of the night. There's actually 2 games we can look at for live betting tonight. Mavericks lead the Clippers 48-35 in LA in the debut of Kyrie Irving. No Luka, as you heard Kurt Helin allude to. Mavericks minus 3.5. Clippers plus 148 right now on the money line. And wow, that's low on the money line for a team that's down 13. And 226.5 is the live total on that game. Warriors trail in Portland 43-40, 8:20 to go in the second quarter. My God, it's a ton of points being scored in that game. Warriors plus 4.5, plus 154 on the money line, 240.5. We'll see what goes on late in that game because we always like to keep an eye on Dame time. All right, I am a man of my word. And to end the last segment, I dropped the ultimate tease. I said, what would you do to win $1 million on Super Bowl Sunday? Yeah. Thank you. Big reveal. I'm going to pay off the tease, as they say in the business. Here's what you need to do. All season long, I was telling you about playfortickets.com, where you go and you can win tickets to go to the Super Bowl. Well, nobody won the tickets to the Super Bowl. But good news. You could still win $1 million in the Big Game Challenge right now at playfortickets.com. Here's what you do. Go to playfortickets.com. Sign up. It's free to sign up. It's totally free to play. Doesn't cost you a dime, and you could win $1 million. Think about what you would do. Brian McDonald, what would you do with $1 million? You're such an idiot. You would not buy $1 million. What would you do if you had $1 million? What would you do? If I had $1 million. See, I wouldn't quit. Yeah, you got to be careful. Take too much time off, they forget about you. Just saying. I'd just buy a house. The only thing I'd want to do is really buy a house. Have it all bought and paid for and not have to worry about it. That's it. I'd be cool with that. Just buy a nice house. Somewhere away from the San Andreas Fault, which I sit on right now. Yes. Yeah, we'd move. We'd probably stay in California, but I don't know if I'd want. See, the problem is everywhere that's cool to live in California is on the San Andreas Fault. LA, San Francisco. Yeah, you're kind of screwed either way. San Diego is about the best you could do. But I don't know. No, you're probably right. So it's the $1 million big game challenge. It's going on right now at playfortickets.com. That's playfortickets.com. Here's what you do. All you got to do, pick 19 fun prop bets for Sunday's big game. There's 19 of them. If you hit on all 19, you'll win $1 million. Now, you might be sitting there saying, that's silly. Who's going to do it? Guess what? Somebody does it. All these different contests that you see on all these different TV channels, somebody always wins. Why shouldn't it be you? Go to playfortickets.com, sign up for the big game challenge, the big play now button. All you got to do is create an account. It's totally free. Sign up, make your picks, player props, game props, spanning the entire game. Get them all right. $1 million. It's at playfortickets.com, 21 and over to play. Terms and conditions apply. Speaking of playfortickets.com, they are sponsoring a live broadcast. So on Sunday, for our friends listening on our KDUS affiliate in Phoenix, to our friends listening down there, our great affiliate in Phoenix, we love you guys. I will be seeing you on Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. local time in Phoenix for the cash-in countdown to kickoff. That's right. I will be doing a live broadcast from the Desert Diamond Casino in the West Valley, which is in Glendale, right in the shadow of State Farm Stadium. We'll be doing a live show from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern, noon to 3 p.m. Pacific, leading right up to the Super Bowl. How much fun is that going to be? Eric Dickerson, Christian Okoye, Cedric Sabalos, among others, will be hanging out with us. We'll talk to them during the show, and all sorts of fun giveaways, including a chance to actually go, if you're in Phoenix or you're going out there for the game, swing by, because you actually have a chance to win 2 tickets to the Super Bowl on Sunday. Like, you could win them there and walk down the street and go to the game. Easy as that. I mean, it's kind of cool. Chance to win. There's going to be food, drinks, celebrities. Who knows who's going to stop by? I know we got a few guests already lined up, and I just ran through them. But my understanding is there's going to be a bunch of people there. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure the answer to that, because I'm not sure. I know they're giving them away there. I'm not sure how they're giving them away, but they're giving them away. So somebody's gonna walk out of that party with 2 tickets, literally to walk down the street and go watch the Super Bowl. I mean, think about that. How cool would that be if you're at a party and you're like, oh, by the way, you want to go to the Super Bowl? Oh, you won. Okay, go. It's gonna be wild. Can I tell you? I've been to Super Bowl Radio Row a bunch of times. I've been to a Pro Bowl the week before in Miami. I have never been to a Super Bowl, and I have zero interest in going. None. Yep. Nope. No interest. Yep. 100%. I agree 100%. The only sport that I really thoroughly enjoy going to watch live is baseball. It's not even close. There isn't even a close second for me. Hockey is, but I don't have the. It's the only sport I really didn't play at all growing up. I ice skated a little bit, but I never put a stick in my hand and played hockey. So it's the one sport I don't have that attachment to. I got my start in broadcasting doing high school play-by-play for hockey at East Haven High School. So, I mean, I love the game. I love it live. I've been to a bunch of NHL games. It just doesn't. I even got offered an AHL play-by-play job when I was younger, and I didn't do it because it's just not my thing. I'm just not a big hockey guy. So no, it's the baseball for me is the best sport live. I've been to 2 or 3 NFL games live in my life, and it just doesn't do anything for me. Unless you're like right at the 50 at the middle of the field and down low and you can hear the players on the sideline and stuff. What I love about sports is the intimacy. The NBA close up is pretty good. I've seen a couple of good NBA games close up. But baseball for me, it's where it's at. Just give me a Sunday in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium anytime. We're back with another hour of the Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Yep. I still have, like I said, I've lived in California since 2019. I still haven't been to Dodger Stadium, Anaheim to see the Angels, or Petco. Just haven't made it out there. I'll go to Petco this year. No, they're all within 2 hours. They're not far. They have a winter league here in Palm Springs. There's a because there used to be minor league baseball here a million years ago. So there's an old minor league stadium where they have a Palm Springs Winter League where it's like, collegiate. Yeah, only a poor man, a really, really, really poor man's version of it. Really poor man's version. Like wooden bleachers and stuff like that. But it's actually, it's a decent stadium. I've always said my dream, if I came into like FU money, like if my company took off, 5 years from now, I'd want to put a AA or AAA team in Palm Springs. Build a stadium here and just put a minor league team here. If I build it, they will come. Absolutely. So I'm working with you on Sunday, right? You'll be on the show? That's good. That puts my mind at ease. Honey, get the wings on. That's the thing. I was trying to make a decision as to whether to stay at the watch, because the watch party is 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I was debating whether to stay for the game or just get back in my car and listen to the game on the way home. And I don't know. I would probably drive back that night because thing is, out here the game's over by like 7:30, so I'll be back by midnight. Assuming I don't get stuck at a craps table or something like that. No. It's not. It's unavoidable. Everybody does. It's like Mike Tyson said. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. It's true. Wow, poker. I'm pretty prolific. I could win money all day playing poker, but I'm not going to sit down for 5 hours at a poker table on Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah. I gotta have I got some meetings I gotta do with some people there. I'm in the middle of trying to raise an insane Another hour of the show starts right now. It's SportsMap Radio and the SportsMap Radio app. Thank you for being with us. You know what I have yet to do tonight? I have yet to give out the telephone number. You'd think you weren't allowed to call into the show. 1-800-224-2004 is the telephone number. 800-224-2004. Want to hit me up on Twitter? Go ahead and do it. At the back page. Again, on Twitter, at the back page. We had Scott Seidenberg on the show last night from pregame.com, my old buddy, from our NBC Sports Radio days, former VSiN personality, host of Straight Out of Vegas, the podcast that you can get every morning at 5 a.m. It becomes available, and you can listen to it on your way into work. And Scott and I were talking about the Super Bowl, and he was giving me prop bets that he liked. And I have to say, I'm with him. My favorite prop bet for the Super Bowl this year, and you got to be able to find it. You know, different sports books have different prop bets, but over 1.5 on fourth down conversions. That to me is a lock. I mean, that is as close as you get to a lock for a bet on Super Bowl Sunday. Over 1.5 on fourth down conversions. In this age of the NFL, and, you know, if a team's trailing late in the game, I mean, there's so many ways that you can get to 2 on that number. You can get to 2 before you even get to the fourth quarter with it, as aggressive as some NFL head coaches are around midfield. To me, it's a no-brainer. Oh, yeah. The other 2 bets he liked was no touchback on the opening kickoff and under 21.5 on Jerick McKinnon's rushing yards. Those are the bets that Scott was really fond of. I'll give you another one I like. I think you go under on Jalen Hurts passing yards, which I think is like 237, something like that. I would go under. I'll listen to what it's like to hear my dog licking water out of a bowl. Hold on, let's see if you can hear it. Nah, you probably can't hear it. My dog's the loudest licker of water I've ever heard in my life. Just so loud. This is why I need to be in a studio. Dog just unbelievable. So there was more that came out of Roger Goodell's press conference today. And one of the big things is flexing. You've already got the flexing for the Sunday night game. Now this season, you're going to have flexing for Monday night games. I think after week 13, you'll get flexing on Monday night. How many times do we see it late in the year? You know, 2 teams that you thought were going to be in contention, they're out of it. Monday night, it sucks, and I got to do a show about it. And we're just sitting here saying, you know, what are we going to do with the Monday night game? That won't be a concern. The bigger problem is the Thursday night game. And how do you get to a point where you could potentially flex that game out? And it becomes problematic for the league. You know, they're just constantly looking for ways to get the best games in those prime time slots, whether it's Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. It continues to be a problem. And Roger Goodell did commit to at least looking into. Now he says this about a lot of things. He did talk about committing to look into being able to flex on Thursday night as well, because you know the Amazon Prime numbers were good for the first season, but they weren't great. They're not anything close to what the other big prime time matchups do. And as far as sponsor dollars, that's a bit problematic. 1-800-224-2004 is the telephone number. 800-224-2004. You can hit me up on Twitter at the back page. Let's go. Dave in Connecticut, my man, listening to SportsMap Radio. What's going on, Dave? Uh-huh. I just don't know how you now. What's your logic? Let me hear some logic as to why you think there isn't going to be at least 2 fourth down conversions. All right, you don't see it, I see it. I you know what I see? I see the opportunity for a friendly wager because I can bet on just about anything. So I see an opportunity for a wager. So I am going to give a cash-in listener and a friend, Dear Dave in Connecticut, an opportunity. Terry Bradshaw does the thing where you can win Terry's money. I'm going to give you a chance to win Jason Page's money. We'll make it a friendly, we'll say $25 wager. And if they go, if fourth down conversions in that game go under 1.5, I will give you $25. Fair enough. How many days by the way, how many days until baseball? All right. 7 weeks, 1 day. We're all 7 weeks, 1 day until Christmas. Okay. I know. That makes two of us. But the problem is you're a Red Sox fan and you don't have a lot to look forward to this year compared to the rest of the American League East. So, sorry. Let's see, the number for 2023 as of right now for the Red Sox is 77.5. Wow, that's really low. That's really low. I might actually agree with you. Mm-hmm. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, you know. Oh, you're crazy. They ain't going worst to first. That division's too good. They didn't make that many. Nah, they didn't make that many moves. I appreciate the call, Dave. They didn't make that many moves. I'm not giving the Red Sox worst to first, but 77.5, I might take the over on that. What's Houston? Let's see. Baltimore 76.5. The Blue Jays are 92.5. Wow. Let's see here. Orioles are 76.5. See, I'd go over on that. Because I think the balanced schedule is going to help them too. They don't got to play the Yankees and Blue Jays all those times. The Mets are 95.5. What the hell? Somebody's got to lose games. Somebody. Oh, okay. There it is. It's the A's. They're 59.5. Wow. The A's are projected. The A's are projected to be a 100 loss team by that number. The Yankees are 95. It's hard to win 96 games. They make it sound like it's so easy. What's Houston? Ready? Wait, I'll let you guess. What do you think Houston's number is? 96.5. Yeah. 96.5. The Rays are 88.5. Mariners are 88.5. The Royals are projected to be bad, 68.5. Just trying to see if there's any. Pirates are going to be bad again. Rockies are 67.5. Yeah, Rockies are 67.5. Giants are 80.5. What are the Dodgers? What are the Doyers? Let's see. Dodgers are 96.5. So 96.5 is the high water mark, basically. Astros and Dodgers 96.5. That's hard, man. You get beat up. Oh, that's tough, man. Balanced schedule. The balanced schedule is going to be interesting. Plus, I think the rule changes. I just don't know if we really understand how much the rule changes in baseball this year are going to impact everything. We're coming back. Mike's hot. Wow, more than 15,000 people have died in the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. That's crazy. What? Oh my God. That's crazy. They're probably like, we have a fault line here? Every time I see these stories about these catastrophic earthquakes, I'm like, when's it our turn in the barrel, basically? Like, I mean, we're so overdue on the San Andreas fault. No, I mean, it's fact. No, we are. We're overdue. It's just a matter of time. You just hope I'm not here when it happens. Yes. Yeah, we're talking like 7+. There's a major rupture. World Series earthquake. 6.9. Yes. Yeah. It's scary, man. I yell at my husband all the time. I'm like, we have no earthquake preparation here, like us personally. Like, we don't have big containers of water, all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. But we don't really have anything to insure. It's not like we own a home or anything, you know. We're we're not as bad. But I mean, Palm Springs, the thing about Palm Springs is there's literally one road in and one road out, and it's the 10 freeway. So if that goes out, if that highway, no, people will be trapped here with no resources, and the only way you'll be able to get anything here is to airlift it here. I mean, it will be catastrophic if the big one hits here. Good tune. I like this. Of course, our video audience can't hear it because if I play it, it'll get like muted on Facebook or whatever. No, I don't think I can. I think I just popped a blood vessel trying. That's Brian McDonald, producer, engineer extraordinaire. I get him at least one day this week. Then I get him on Sunday for our Super Bowl extravaganza. Countdown to kickoff. The cash-in. Countdown to kickoff. Bum, bum, bum. I don't even know if we're going to have imaging. I don't even know. I kind of... You might want to check. You might want to check with our people there in Houston to see if we have imaging for the show. Okay, all right. I'm just saying, because I didn't have my guy make it. So if it's getting made, it's getting made on that end. My guy cost me too much money. He's got a voice of God. I asked him to say the, and he's like, how much? Robert Littal, Black Sports Online. Will join us from BSO. He's in Phoenix. Get the skinny on what's going on down there. Did you see the story about Michael Irvin? Oh, Michael Irvin, the playmaker. Yeah, he's in a bit of hot water. Michael Irvin. Yeah, and he always remarkably winds up back on TV somewhere. Michael Irvin apparently had an encounter with a female in a lobby at a hotel in Phoenix on Sunday night. She made accusations of inappropriate conduct, and now Michael Irvin has been pulled off of all broadcasts this week that he was supposed to do, like NFL Network, ESPN First Take with Stephen A. Smith on Friday. Yeah, not good. Not good. And look, it's accusations, and we'll see what comes of it, but they made the decision to pull him off. So no Michael Irvin for the rest of this week. You sound heartbroken. No? Okay. Yeah, not me either. All right, live betting is a big part of what we do on this program every night. We like to give live betting winners, and that's a big part of what we do on this show. The Dallas Mavericks lead the Clippers at the half, 60-52. Mavericks minus 1.5 is the line on this game right now. Mavericks minus 1.5. Again, no Luka. Kyrie playing in his first game for the Mavericks. And so far, Kyrie has 13 at the half on 5 of 11 shooting. Reggie Bullock is leading the way with 15 on 5 of 9 shooting. Clippers being led by Terrence Mann. It's whatever. I'm so over Kawhi. I was having this conversation with somebody at the dog park. I know, of all the places to have a beef about sports. Yeah, at the dog. Well, there's like one person that always loves to talk my ear off about sports at the dog park. And this is the problem. When people know who you are and what you do for a living, they always want to come, and they think, oh, the red light's always on, so we can talk about sports with them just about any time. No, the red light is not always on. I get paid to talk about sports for a living, and I half jokingly, I always say to these people when they ask me about sport, are you paying me? Then I'm not talking about it, because I'm not your monkey. I'm not going to sit here and dance for you like I'm in a zoo. I'm just not going to do it. So I give short, sweet, succinct answers on sports, and then I'm done. And then we can talk about the corgi at the other end of the park that's trying to hump my dog. That's it. It's all you're getting out of me. So he was going on about Kawhi starting to play well. He hit the game-winning shot the other night. Clippers are going to be good. What are they going to do at the trade deadline? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, I don't know what the Clippers are, because 57 games into the season, I think we've only seen Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on the court for a third of those games, and we still don't know what this team is. So I'm not sold yet. I don't know. I'd like to see him make a move at the deadline, but again, there's not a lot out there. There's not a lot out there right now. Boy, they're playing a lot of guys, though. They played 11 guys already in this game. That's a deep rotation. So anyway, we'll see if they make a move at the deadline. But right now, Dallas 60, the Clippers 52. Clippers plus 100 on the money line, plus 1.5 if you want to try and get them with the spread. And 220.5 is the total. Third quarter about to start in that game. Golden State and Portland in the Great Northwest. 67-63 Warriors on top. They actually trailed in this game for a minute. Blazers plus 2.5 on the money, on the spread rather, live betting spread. Portland plus 112 on the money line. 243.5 is your total in that game. I don't have anything for you in terms of feeling one way or the other on these games, on the live betting numbers. But if something comes to mind, I'll be sure to let you guys know. That's why you have to listen to the show, because you never know when I might just give you a live betting winner. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm sure. It's our betting segment. Let's do it. Are you bleeping kidding me? But you realize minus 300 means you have to wager 300 to win $100. That's a lot of juice. That is a lot of juice. Just saying. That's all. It's a lot of juice. They might. What's a hug, though? Does it have to be full embrace? Does it have to... See, that's the thing. What is considered a hug? Is one arm... But it is. But is one arm a hug? See, I think it can't be a friend. It's got to be... I think it's got to be both arms. Yeah. Dude, that's a sucker bet. 300 to win 100. That's a lot of juice. You gotta have FU money if you're starting to do 300 to win 100. Really? How about this? Here's a prop bet for you. Both Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce to score one touchdown each. Yeah. Plus 20,000. Again, meaning if you wager $100 and both Kelce score a touchdown, you would win $20,000. How about $10 on it to win $2,000? You're willing to throw away $300 to win $100. Why not put $10 to win $2,000? Never know. Tackle eligible. How about this one? Any offensive lineman to score one receiving touchdown, plus 3,000. $10 on it wins you $300. Miles Sanders to score the Philadelphia Eagles' first and second touchdown, plus 3,500. Either Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes to record 50-plus rushing yards, minus 150. Meaning you have to lay down 150 to win 100. Where are you fighting? First of all the commercials have already been released, so wouldn't that be easy? I think so. Color of Gatorade poured on the winning head coach. Yellow, green, lime is plus 145. Orange is 300. Blue is 350. It's a good one. Final score to have occurred as past Super Bowl final score. So if the final score is the same as a past Super Bowl final score, if you say yes, plus 470, that's actually a pretty good bet. No, minus 650. I could see like 27-24. Well, actually, no, I can't. 27-20 because I think the game's going under. Robert Littal on the other side from Black Sports Online. I'll say what you want, but don't play games with my affection. What? Okay. Yeah, that would be thoroughly shocking. Better chance of seeing Chris Brown. What? Plug that thing up. That kid can't come. All right. Get Robert Littal on. Good to have you with us. I like this. It's a nice little slow jam. It's good stuff. Make me feel hip and cool. Halfway, the cash rules everything around me, man. Dollar bills, y'all. All right. Our guest may or may not still be there after hearing that reference. Robert Littal, Black Sports Online. He's in Phoenix at the Super Bowl, having all the fun that I'm not having. I get to go. I'll be there literally Sunday for about 12 hours, and then I'll be coming right back to Palm Springs. We're doing a live Super Bowl show, kickoff show, countdown to kickoff show from Desert Diamond Casino over there in Glendale. So we'll be there having a good old time. Are you going to the game, by the way, Robert?
I am, and you're doing it the best way. You're in and out like a military, like a SEAL team. You just get in, do what you got to do, probably make a couple of dollars at the casino, and you're out of there.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to make a couple of dollars. Hopefully, I can hit some winners on the game itself. So let's talk about a couple things going on down there. And most interestingly, we were just talking about it briefly in the last second. Michael Irvin. Apparently some sort of dust up in a hotel lobby on Sunday night in Phoenix, and now he's off all of the Super Bowl coverage. What can you tell us?
Well, I did a little digging around when I, first saw the story. This kind of blew up out of nowhere. He did kind of address it in a bit, so I wanted to get a little bit more information exactly how the setup is down there for the NFL Network people. And he's in, the hotel where everyone is, the media people are at, and for what I was told is, and it's kind of repeating the story that he told, is that he went out to dinner. He, maybe had a few many, drinks, and he went into the lobby and he had some sort of small, brief conversation with a woman there in the lobby. The problem is, from what I'm hearing, is that he can't remember what the conversation was. Now, the first thing is that he told him that he didn't talk to anybody, but they had him caught in 4K, talking to somebody, talking to a woman. And then secondly, he said he didn't remember, what the conversation was besides, that it was brief and he gave her a handshake. And I guess the main thing that nobody knows at the moment that, people are digging on is what could he have possibly said in that 45 seconds to a minute that was so egregious that, they wouldn't even give him the benefit of the doubt and take him, off the air. But at the moment, no one actually, even Michael Irvin, doesn't know what he said.
So he's off. Like, no matter. So that's it. He's done the rest of the week. He's on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, unless, something was to come out where, there was some proof that the young lady lied or some video. There's always somebody taking video somewhere in the corner or something. There's cameras everywhere. Unless there's something to exonerate him, I don't think you're going to see him on the Super Bowl coverage. And actually going further than that, you have to be concerned if you're Irvin is this serious enough now that it's out there? Your long-term, job prospects with ESPN, with the NFL Network, because if they felt it was serious enough, just a conversation to take you off the Super Bowl, how do they bring you back? Like, that following Monday. Are you on First Take that following Monday? Like nothing ever happened? That's kind of something that we have to kind of look out for. But until we know what was said, it's everybody's kind of perplexed by the entire thing.
This is what's so mind-boggling to me. So ESPN says we're going to take this guy off the air on Friday. He's not going to do First Take with Stephen A. But this is the same company that's basically saying, Dana White, you want to slap around your wife, whatever. You can still put your fights on ESPN Plus. We don't want our guys criticizing you. No, it's fine. It's just there is no real universal way that these companies treat these stories.
That is very strange because, if Dana White wanted to come on like First Take and explain himself, if he wanted, they would have, or Sports Center, they would have gave him that outlet in 5 seconds and let him talk as long as he wanted to talk. This is a situation where I think it's pretty clear nothing criminal happened. There's nothing, no assault took place or anything like that. This is a conversation between, two adults, and it's just odd. You just don't really see that type of stuff, being punished. And I've been trying to wrap my mind around what could he have possibly said in a minute that would cause all of this to happen. And the only things I can come up with, I feel like if he did stuff like that, somebody would say something. Like, yeah, he was yelling at her, he screamed at her, he threatened her or something like that. But nobody has said that. And he can't remember. So it seems to me like maybe, everybody's just a real sensitive time to things, and they rather jump the gun and put them on the shelf than potentially have this woman say, go to a TMZ or go to, any, these, outlets and tell her story right in the middle of the Super Bowl week, and then them having to explain why they didn't do anything.
Robert Littal is our guest, Black Sports Online. You can find him on Twitter at BSO. Were you at the commissioner's press conference today?
I was. It was very interesting.
Well, tell me something. What was the reaction around the room when Donna Kelsey gets the first question coming out of Kaylee Hartung's Q&A with the commissioner? What was the reaction around the room?
Well, this is a bunch of people that, work in media. This is their jobs. This is their life. This is what they do. A lot of us don't have direct access to Commissioner Goodell. And that's just taking one of the questions. And I think what's happening, the general feeling is that the Kelsey brothers story is a great story. I mean, it's an amazing story. Having two sons in the Super Bowl, both probably Hall of Famers. But unfortunately, like a lot of things in 2023 and these times, they're doing too much. That's what the kids say. They're pushing it, too much. And it's like, okay, we get it. We get it. Like, she doesn't have to show up on every, single thing. But because there's no real like trash talk and there's no like controversy or anything, it's like they're searching for storylines. And they're like, they found the storyline that they're going to do. So don't be shocked if you see Mama Kelsey with Rihanna tomorrow at the press conference.
Are we seeing has there been any Jackson Mahomes sightings in Phoenix so far?
Thank God, no. Oh, man.
For people who don't know, Jackson Mahomes is the younger brother of Patrick Mahomes, who I once saw. So one day, so this is a true story. I was out at Yankee Stadium. Might have been 2 years ago. I don't remember. May have been last season. Might have been 2 years ago. I was out at Yankee Stadium, and I had seats right behind the trough where like all the really rich people sit, in the front. And Jackson Mahomes was in that section. And all he was doing the entire game was taking pictures, Instagram, TikTok. Oh my God. And I have no idea who he is. So I just keep looking down there and I'm like, who is this idiot who's just taking selfie after selfie, posing with people? I'm like, I don't recognize him. And I know who a lot of people are. No idea who he is. Finally, the end of the game comes and everybody rushes down there to go take pictures with him. And I'm like, what is going on? And a little kid next to me goes, oh, you don't know who that is? That's Patrick Mahomes' brother. And I was like, the dude's famous just for being Patrick Mahomes' brother? So he's not no sightings in Phoenix?
No, not yet. But let me tell you something. This is true. This is true. You and I have been doing this for a long time. Very rarely have I known someone's sibling be so disliked that they want the player to lose. And Patrick Mahomes, in general, most people like Patrick Mahomes. He's an up-and-up guy, nice enough guy, very nice to the media. He seems like a really good guy. Sometimes you have siblings and you're like, how are they related? Because they're so different. It's like, and you just get that feeling that you haven't seen them yet, but it's coming. The game is coming. The TikToks are going to come. If they win, oh my God, I shudder to think what him and the wife are going to do. But at least Travis Kelce got rid of, his girlfriend who was like that as well. So he, the one that he wasn't paying any of her bills, he said. So we got rid of one. We just got to get rid of the other two.
All right, I got 30 seconds here. Who wins the game?
I actually got the Eagles. I think they're healthier. I think they have a better defense. I think they're well coached. I think the kryptonite for the Chiefs. We saw when they played the Bucs. Good pass rush with the front four. Locked down their very average receivers. There's no Tyreek Hill that's going to be able to bail them out this year.
Good stuff. Robert Littal, Black Sports Online. Check him out on Twitter at BSO. It's good to do it, my man. I haven't talked to you in a while. Let's do it again soon, all right?
Yeah, anytime. I appreciate you, and enjoy your 12 hours in lovely Arizona.
I'll be on the road longer than I'll actually be in Arizona. That's the funny part. I'll actually be in the car 4 hours each way. I'll probably be in the car as long as I'm in Arizona. See you later, man.
All right, my man.
Love Pat. Love Robert Littal. Does a great job. Been talking to that dude for years. We started from the bottom, now we here. You like that one? You like that one, Bri? We're coming back. Yeah, we're just coming back. I got nothing else. I don't even have a clean way to get to break. It's the Cash In on SportsMap Radio. How's that? Why on earth are you giving me all these hip-hop songs when you know it is not my wheelhouse? Why? Why you just you're putting your host in positions to fail tonight? Why? Why? Nice. Yeah, it's great. Thanks. Yeah, you did spin that. That was Roger Goodell-like spin. Congratulations. All right. Mavericks lead the Clippers 81-78. Clippers making a run in that game. That is at the end of the third quarter. It is Dallas plus 2.5 now, so the odds have flipped to Dallas plus 2.5 on the live spread, plus 132 to the Mavericks. So the team that's winning right now is predicted to lose, basically. 213.5 is the live betting total. Warriors and Blazers, the scoring is just through the roof. They've still got 132 to go in the third. 93-91 Blazers on top of the Warriors. I haven't taken a peek at that box score yet. Let me just see if I can real quick here. Let's see. Klay Thompson has 26. Jordan Poole has 24. DiVincenzo's got 15. It's Dame's. They're not even in the fourth yet, and Dame's already got 29. So that's going to be a big night for Damian Lillard. Those two teams are basically neck and neck in the West right now. Portland's 26-28. The Warriors are 28-26. It's still jarring to look at the Warriors, record and everything and see 7-20 on the road. I just can't get over that. It's hard for me to fathom that team could be 7-20 on the road. And who knows how long they're going to be without Stephen Curry. It's going to be at least a few more weeks, it sounds like. So in the West right now, it is remarkable. The difference between the 4 seed and the 10 seed is 3 losses. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 4 seed and the 10 seed right now, the difference is 3 losses. Clippers are 31-26. The Jazz are 27-29. And by the way, nice job by the Rockets tonight, doing everything in their power to make sure they get that number 1 pick and get Victor Wembanyama. Did you see? Oh my God! Did you see what they did tonight? They had 2 fouls in the final 1.8 seconds to turn a lead into a loss. 2 fouls in the final 1.8 seconds. And people are online going, we got robbed. This wasn't a foul. I'm watching the clips. I'm like, dude, you want that to be a foul. You want the number 1 pick. You want Victor Wembanyama. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. God. I've never seen a film. Oh, no, we don't want the loss. We want that 11th win of the season. Or 14th win of the season. Yeah, all 7 of them are listening. I tell you, it's a 4-team horse race though for that number 1 pick right now. This thing is not locked up by anybody. Charlotte's 15-41. Detroit is 14-42. God, it's bad. The Spurs are 14-41, and the Rockets are 13-42. Right? Exactly. I mean, you want the losses. Yeah, they have. Sacramento with a win earlier tonight, 130-128. They beat Houston. That was the game we were just referencing. Minnesota all over Utah tonight, 143-118. San Antonio doing their part to get that top pick. They lost in Toronto. Actually, it's Toronto. Don't say Toronto. They get upset. Yeah, it's like Nevada, not Nevada. It's true. Not New Orleans. It's Nolans. See, these are things you learn. Cleveland got a win over Detroit tonight. Pistons doing their part to hold up their end of the Scoot Henderson, Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. 113-85 was the final. So they're in the fourth. Dallas leads the Clippers 85-78. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and make a live bet. Let's say... see, now it's Dallas minus 2.5. Damn it. See, if it had just stayed. Now it's Dallas minus 3.5. They're up 7. Good golly. See, I can't. Yeah, I just can't touch it. I cannot give a winner. Can't give a winner. I'll tell you what, here's the winner I'll give. Portland minus 1.5. Blazers aren't losing that game. No Stephen Curry. Warriors, hoping in a prayer on Klay Thompson, who, some nights is good and some nights is just dreadful. By the way, could Draymond Green just shut up? Let me just say this. Draymond Green is a punk. I said it. And there's some, and I got to be honest, there are some people that wouldn't, who I go after some people when they say stuff like that, because a lot of the guys that say things like that would never say it to somebody's face. If I saw Draymond Green, I'd say you're a punk, because the dude's a punk. He is. This guy has the nerve, the audacity to go after Nets owner Joe Tsai. He went after Joe Tsai because he said Joe Tsai and the Nets were being petty in not trading Kyrie Irving to the Los Angeles Lakers. No, they were getting the best deal they could for their team, and the Lakers didn't want to give up what they were asking for. It's not the Nets' job, Draymond. It's not the Nets' job to put Kyrie where he wants to go. This isn't Burger King. You don't get to have it your way. And Draymond thinks, they were just being petty. They were just doing it to try and get back at Kyrie. What do you mean? For the fact that he basically wasted 3 years of that organization? That he barely played over the last 3 years? That he put it under a bad spotlight? Draymond Green's got to go away. Seriously. It's ridiculous. Be careful. There might be swearing in this.
I am told that they would not trade him to the Lakers, and that is what I call billionaire petty. That is Joe Tsai saying, listen, man, that's where he want to go. I don't care if they offer the best deal or not. I can be petty too. And billionaire petty is a different level of petty. And not many people can compete with billionaire petty. So before we get out of here, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Is it more petty than, I don't know, sucker punching your teammate at a practice because he was talking trash to you? Really? Is it more petty than that, Dre? Dre, he's just such garbage. He really is. It is. It's exactly right. It is exactly right. How does he know? Exactly. Well, they've supposedly kissed and made up on that. But I just, and not for nothing. If you want to sit here and tell me, Draymond, how can you say that? He's going to be a Hall of Fame. If Draymond Green is a Hall of Famer, then they need to shut the thing down. Draymond Green for his NBA career, has he even averaged over 10 points a game? And you can talk about prolific defense all you want. Outside of Dennis Rodman, there ain't a guy I would put in the Hall of Fame, and Rodman is in the Hall of Fame. There isn't a guy that I would put in the Hall of Fame. No, he's averaged 8.7 points for his career, 7 rebounds and 5.5 assists. And you want to talk to me about Draymond Green as a Hall of Famer? Get the hell out of here. Yeah. He is. He's a triple single. Exactly. Not a lot of times I agree with Chuck Rock, but he's right. Draymond Green. And then he's going to go into the media and be one of those guys. I think this is his last season with the Warriors. I think he's done. I think he's done there. We're coming back. Final hour. Final hour right around the corner. All right. What'd you say? My earbuds off. Ah. Final hour of a Wednesday/Thursday edition of the show. Good to have you all along for the ride. SportsMap Radio. The SportsMap Radio app. Flanked by producer-engineer extraordinaire, the Brian McDonald. No relation to Ben McDonald. Or Old McDonald. Or Michael McDonald. Listen, baby. There you go. There you go. Shine, sweet freedom. Shine the light on me. So that's how we start this final hour of the show. Hopefully you're still with us. Yeah, that is hot stuff, baby. Hot stuff. Mavs up 10, by the way. That 3.5 is looking pretty good. Mavs up 10 right now, about 6 minutes to go in the fourth. And our live bet on the Blazers -1.5. They lead the Warriors 106-102, 8:28 to go in the fourth in Portland. Roger Goodell met with the media today, the yearly propaganda press conference, where the commissioner talked about concussions being up.
I think it's hard to draw conclusions from 1 year. As I mentioned to the question earlier, I think there's some specific reasons to why the concussion rate is up this year. Number one, the definition of concussions changed during the season. We had more evaluations. That's going to lead to more recorded concussions. And we don't want concussions to occur. We want to prevent them and we want to treat them, but we're not afraid of having them be diagnosed. That's something that's really important for us and why we encourage players and coaches and everyone else to come forward when they have symptoms so we can deal with those medically and make sure that they're handled professionally.
No matter how many times he says it, it just doesn't, it comes off to me as sort of this propagandist view. This idea of, well, the definition of concussions changed. What is, that sort of thing. Remember when President Clinton got in trouble? What's the definition of was or is? What is the? You can do the word salad thing all you want if you're Roger Goodell. They went nuts. The league went crazy when concussion numbers went down year over year. And somebody asked the question about, what does this mean for an 18-game season? Was it the right decision to go to a 17-game season? And he's not backing down. This league's just about trying to figure out ways to make money. Simple as that. And Roger Goodell was up there today doing his best to talk about trying to make the game safer.
Anytime we can change the protocols to make it safer for our players, we're going to do that. What we changed in October was something that we thought would give us a better opportunity to treat those conditions more conservatively, give the players an opportunity to get off the field and recover. And, I think that's also a reason why concussions went up this year, because we had a broader definition, a more conservative definition. We had, I think, an increase of 17% of evaluations. So if you have more evaluations, you're going to have more concussions.
So that was Roger Goodell on the concussion issue. As far as diversity is concerned, and there was, that subject came up quite a bit in this press conference today. Roger Goodell likes to think that the NFL's accelerator program is a major catalyst as to why more black men are getting jobs in the league.
A number of the things we implemented last year have proven to be a direct beneficiary.
Oh, it went away on me. Where'd it go? Hold on. Let's see if we can pull that back up. Here we go.
A number of the things we implemented last year have proven to be a direct beneficiary of some of the changes that occurred, including Rand Carthon and as the GM in Tennessee. He actually was introduced to the Titans at our accelerator program. And the accelerator program really helped, I think, our clubs as well as candidates get to know each other and to understand the incredible talent that's out there. So that's a program that we introduced last year. We're going to continue that. Our commitment's strong to that. But that's just one.
I didn't hear anybody ask about Jim Irsay basically trying to usurp the Rooney Rule by hiring Jeff Saturday midseason as an interim head coach, which basically gives him the power to install him as the head coach in a much easier manner than if he hadn't been there as the interim head coach. Lot of talk this week about black quarterbacks. The fact that you got two black quarterbacks going head-to-head in Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Goodell touched on that.
Our quarterbacks in general, obviously, that's the field general. I think we have 11 black starting quarterbacks today. They're some of the best leaders I've ever seen. They're extraordinary. People talk about their talent and their ability to run, but they are incredible leaders. They understand the offense. They run complex offenses, probably more complex than we've ever run in the past. And they really add such an element to the game. And I think our game has changed because of their talents. And I think the game has changed on the college level also to develop their talents earlier. And that's true for all quarterbacks.
So that was the commissioner talking about the two men that will be running things at the quarterback position. One of those guys is Patrick Mahomes. His ankle is obviously the source of a lot of conversation this week. Here's Mahomes today talking about that high ankle sprain.
I don't think you'll know exactly until you get to game day. I'm definitely in a better spot. I definitely can move around better than I was moving last week or 2 weeks ago. And so it's just trying to continue to get the treatment and the rehab and get to as close as I can to 100%, and then rely on some adrenaline to let me do a little bit extra when I'm on the field. So it's going to be definitely better, more mobile, be able to move around a little bit better for sure, and then we'll see on game day how close to 100% I can be.
I think he's playing coy, but I think that ankle's not going to be an issue. I really do. I do not anticipate that ankle being an enormous issue for Patrick Mahomes in this game. You know, we watched him in that game. When he had to make a run in that game late to knock off Cincinnati, he made the run. Doesn't mean they want him scrambling and running for first downs and things like that, but when he has to, 2 weeks is an eternity when you're talking about the medical care that these guys get on a week-in, week-out basis. And I'm sure with the exception of just the normal walkthroughs and things like that, they are not going to put him in any sort of position where he's going to be at risk for re-injuring that ankle going into that game. Now, with all that said, and I've said this before about the Eagles, I think they are a borderline dirty football team. I think they have a nastiness to the way they play defense, and they push the limits. And again, look at the personality of guys on this team. They went and got an Ndamukong Suh. All you got to do is look at that guy's track record. And, you know, that guy has gone across the line numerous times. You know, this team is really good defensively, but it's very physical. And again, to the point where it's almost crossing the line. And if they got a shot to level any sort of, I will be very interested to see the first time they get a chance to lay lumber down on Patrick Mahomes, and they got a chance to go with that ankle or go with his legs, they're going to take it, because if they're able to take him out of the game, man, it would suck for the Super Bowl, but it would basically guarantee that they're going to be Super Bowl champions. Because I don't care what you think of Chad Henne and, he came in and he drove him down the field and blah, blah, blah. If Chad Henne has to play any sort of meaningful time in this game, Philadelphia Eagles are going to be Super Bowl champions. You can count on it. But I don't think this is as bad a high ankle sprain. You know, based on everything we've seen so far, You know, he's talked about the trainers, Rick Burkholder, Julie Freimeyer, getting him in shape to play for this game and getting him for the AFC title game. But I think Mahomes is going to be fine. I really do. I don't know if I'd take the over on his betting number. And I think I got it here in front of me. Let's see. Player props, passing props. Here it is. Passing props, passing yards. They make it so hard to find this stuff. Mahomes is 294.5. I'd probably go under. I think this game goes under. I've said that from the start. No, it's up. Now it's up. It's up. It is, I think it's 50.5 or 51.5. Might be 51. Might even be 51.5. Let's see. It is 50.5. Yep. Yeah, I say the same thing. Well, it all depends on the book that you're talking about. And Scott Seidenberg, our friend who comes on the show from pregame.com, says, go on Price Shop. I mean, we're just giving you the odds from FanDuel because I can't sit here and literally give you all the odds from it. It would literally take up the entire show. There's a million sports books out there. But 50.5, I still like the under. If I can find it at 51.5, even better. But I love the under in this game. If I was doing a parlay, which I'm not because I hate parlays, it'd be Kansas City plus 1.5 and under 50.5. I just gave away Paige's picks before we even get to Friday's show. That's all right. Dallas up 5. It's getting interesting late. It's Kyrie time. No, the only one I did was the Blazers minus 1.5. They're up 117, 114. Oh, Tim Hardaway Jr. Our buddy Dave in Connecticut sent me his live in-game parlay ticket. We'll get Kurt Helin's thoughts on all things NBA. 2 trades tonight in the association. One involving the Knicks and the Blazers, and one involving the Jazz, Lakers, T-Wolves, a whole bunch of teams involved. Kyrie doing Kyrie things on the court tonight. Getting interesting in L.A. 103-95 Dallas on top of the Clippers. And in the fourth quarter, 132 to go, fourth quarter in Portland. Oh, we're looking like money 2020. Blazers lead the Warriors 120-114. Yeah. Don't cash the check yet. We're -1.5. Crazy stuff happens. Last night, I'll tell you, I talk about crazy stuff happens. I didn't talk about this tonight on the show because we replay the interview from the first hour towards the end of the show, so we didn't have much time on the other side. After LeBron broke the record, I gave you guys 2 live bets last night. When LeBron had 30, I think when he had 20, I said take LeBron over 36.5. And then when he had 30, or he had 36 or something like that, I said, or maybe when he had 30, I said take over 39.5. And when the guy gets 36 in the first 3 quarters, there's no way you think you're not getting over 39.5. He scored 2 more points in that game. Just soul crushing if you had the live bet of LeBron over 39.5. Because the live bet just kept going up on his scoring total because he was obviously putting up, big numbers through 3 quarters. And all of a sudden, it just stopped scoring. 2 points in the fourth quarter. That's it. And then they pulled him late because his foot was bothering him and the game was out of reach. So you didn't even get the last 2 to get to 40. Just don't even get me started. I said, you can't even finish the third quarter and then do it. And then 10 seconds on the clock. So he's going to go down the court, heave one up. Come on. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. We'll talk with Kurt Helin about it. He was a witness to history last night and was able to see it. I'm trying to think most history. That's funny. It's people get. I hear announcers crush people for that all the time. Why do you have to record it through your phone? You can watch it with your own eyes. It's true. Blazers are on their way. 35 seconds to go in the fourth. They lead Golden State 123-116. So we're feeling good. I want a little cool in the gang. Can we get a little celebration? A little cool in the gang? I'd be down for that. I think that's what we need. Mavericks also on their way to a victory over the Clippers, 109-101, 26 seconds to go in La La Land. So it's just about a wrap. Wow, you could still get a live bet right now with 35 seconds left in that Blazers-Warriors game. Blazers -6.5. I mean, that is some junky stuff. Like if you're just looking, oh my God, it's the last game of the night. I need some action. Give me the Blazers -6.5. Like, I mean, are you serious? You're betting on guys just taking heaves at this point. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is why, man. This is the dangers of live online bet. See, now here you go. Golden State down only 4 with 33 seconds left. That game still ain't over yet. Blazers -1.5. You get a garbage 3 at the end by the Warriors when they're down 4 as time's expiring. Blazers win by 1. Your hopes and dreams are crushed. You're living under a bridge next week because you can't pay the mortgage. Just saying. 800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. Hit me up on Twitter as well, at the back page. I was talking about live player props in the last segment regarding Patrick Mahomes. The one on Jalen Hurts was the one I wanted. Jalen Hurts right now, passing yards is 238.5. And that's the other bet that I'm really fond of on Sunday is the under on Jalen Hurts. I think he goes under 238.5. Any quarterback to throw for over 400 yards. Wow. Wow, what a number. Boy, if I was going to take a flyer on any bet, I might do it on this one. Ready? Any QB to pass for 400-plus yards. And look, you're only making this bet if you think it's Patrick Mahomes because Jalen Hurts ain't throwing for 400 yards. This game could go a full overtime and Jalen Hurts ain't throwing for 400 yards. Plus 980 for any QB to throw over 400 yards. I love it. I love that bet. If you get a game that goes to, look, we already acknowledge it's going to be a close game, right? And you know that Kansas City's not running the ball a lot. I mean, the numbers, the rushing props on them are really low. So you know they're going to throw the ball a lot. They're going to have to. And if the game goes to overtime, could Mahomes go over 400 yards? Absolutely. I mean, $10 to win 100. How are you not doing that? To me, it's a no-brainer. $10 to win 100? Mahomes plus 980? I won't tell you how much it is for the no on that bet. It's pretty ridiculous. Mahomes' first pass. Completion is minus 280. Incomplete or interception is plus 220. It's a lot of juice, though. Minus 280. 280 to win 100. It's a lot of juice. I think he'll cut. But no, wait a second. You said that one's not worth it, but minus 300 on what was the one you liked? The Kelsey, that you're going to put minus 300 on that, but not. No, that's not a 50-50. They're going to make some safe pass. You're going to do safe pass in the flat. What if one of the brothers could get hurt during the game, not on the field at the end of the game? Not that we're rooting for that, but it could happen. Just saying. Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers hug. It's a final 110-104 in favor of the Mavericks. So Kyrie Irving wins his first game. Oh, Jesus. I can't find any of the crazy prop bets. I don't know if DraftKings has them or not. No, but I want to see the national anthem. I want to find the national anthem and stuff like that. Yeah, because I can't find any of that. I don't see any of those fun bets about the national anthem or any of that stuff. Do we even know who's singing? Is Donna Kelsey singing the national anthem? Oh, it's a country singer, isn't it? Chris Stapleton. Ugh. It's going to be a country national anthem. Great. Country national anthem, I think, might go under, though. Doesn't matter what the number is. I think it might go under. If you're talking about a country national anthem, I think they'll sing it a little faster. What? No, because Harry Connick Jr. it goes over. I don't know. Beyonce it would go over because they're gonna milk that home of the brave. How long can you hold the Ave? Just saying. Live betting update for you. It is. Let's see. Is it gone final? Is that game over? All right, you got to give them real fast. So 205. That's usually around what they put it. That number's always pretty stable. It's always usually in the same area. You're kidding me. Yeah, that's usually the number. 5's usually the number. Kurt Helin on the other side talking NBA. We're all just stretching to get to the finish line and get this Super Bowl going because there's no news around it. More basketball next. It's a final. Oh, Jesus. Where are you finding this? Oh, Jimmy Shapiro. Yeah. 125, 122. Blazers win, by the way. Wow. I think diversity is a good one. Really? I think diversity is a good bet. Diversity, it's an old wooden ship. All right, let's spend 10 good minutes with Kurt Helin, pro basketball talk at NBCSports.com, and I am the luckiest guy in the world to be able to get him on trade deadline eve. I said, hey, what's going on in the Mavericks game? He's like, are you kidding? I can't even watch it. I'm too busy covering trades. And literally, it's a great time to get you on. Maybe not for you, but for me, because the Lakers made a deal tonight. Now the Knicks have made a deal. Let's start with the Lakers deal. They get D'Angelo Russell back. What's behind all of it?
It's just an upgrade. They're going to try something crazy, Jason. You know what they're going to do? They're going to put shooting around LeBron James. See how that goes. D'Angelo Russell is just a better shooter, a much better player.
Yeah, I think it's Kelsey Bowl, and then they show the parents. Paul Rudd. Yeah, I would have said Paul Rudd. The Fonz. Give me the Fonz. Yeah. I didn't know that either. And I can run just as fast as I can. In the middle of nowhere. Let's do it. All All right, let's spend 10 good minutes with Kurt Helin, pro basketball talk at NBCSports.com, and I am the luckiest guy in the world to be able to get him on trade deadline eve. I said, hey, what's going on in the Mavericks game? He's like, are you kidding? I can't even watch it. I'm too busy covering trades. And literally, it's a great time to get you on. Maybe not for you, but for me, because the Lakers made a deal tonight. Now the Knicks have made a deal. Let's start with the Lakers deal. They get D'Angelo Russell back. What's behind all of it?
It's just an upgrade. They're going to try something crazy, Jason. You know what they're going to do? They're going to put shooting around LeBron James. See how that goes. D'Angelo Russell is just a better shooter, a much better player than he was when he was in Los Angeles before. Insert your own, I hope he deleted Snapchat joke here, but look, he's a more mature player on the court. He is a 39% shooter from three. He's looked really good the last couple of 3 weeks. They've turned more and more of the offense in Minnesota over to Anthony Edwards, and he's actually done pretty well off ball. Like and kind of in that secondary role, which is kind of what he'll do a lot more of with the Lakers, not taking the ball out of that LeBron James' hand and Anthony Davis' hand. So that works. Malik Beasley can shoot. Jared Vanderbilt they get, who brings backup 4-5 type of guy, versatile defender. And they gave up a first, lightly protected 1 through 4, and they got off of Russell Westbrook and all the chemistry and problem issues there. So Lakers did really well in this trade, really well. And with all the moves they made, they're back to being one of those teams where, like, they're 13th, but man, nobody wants to see them come to playoffs.
No, nobody wants to see them in the playoffs at all. But God, that effort last night. I mean, defensively, that was as embarrassing an effort. And I know, Oklahoma City's on the come and all of that, and that's great. But I mean, my God, I mean, they'd given up 105, I think, through 3 quarters last night.
Yeah, no, it was awful. And I will throw this out, by the way. Gilgeous-Alexander is just smooth. He's just so good. But the Lakers defense was horrific, and there was no rim protection. And this gets back to where Jared Vanderbilt helps a little. Anthony Davis, I know there's plenty of talk about his lack of, not, I guess, being demonstrative enough or whatever. That's fine. He's got to defend better than that. They have to rim protect better than that. They have to. That was not the game they needed. They're not good enough. Even with this trade, they're not good enough unless those two guys are elite every night. And Anthony Davis kind of hasn't been that. So how to get back to that? I think you're going to. This and the break gives them a little jolt. But there's we keep waiting for the jolt from them. We keep waiting for the jolt from Golden State in the West. We keep waiting for, like, Phoenix will turn it around at some point, right? Like, we keep waiting for these teams. Somebody's going to, and I don't know. Right now, Denver's the team to beat, and does Denver intimidate anyone?
Nope. They certainly don't. Talking with Kurt Helin, NBA writer, NBCSports.com, pro basketball talk at NBCSports.com. If you want to find his work there, gives us some time on the show tonight. I'll get back to LeBron if we have time on the back end. I want to get into some of these deals that are going on. The Blazers are dealing Josh Hart to the Knicks. That news coming out tonight. Cam Reddish, it's amazing how he just never worked out in New York. The guy's still only 23 years old. And it feels like he's been in the league forever by now, but he's only 23 years old, and he couldn't stick in Atlanta. Now he doesn't stick in New York. I mean, what's the deal with Cam Reddish?
Yeah, he was in Thibodeau's dog. When he got there, I'm like, oh, this should be a fit. This is a guy they can use, and he has been in the doghouse and barely played of late, and maybe that's what Portland's looking for, is some wing athleticism and roll the dice on him. But he has not impressed coaches wherever he's been. And, you're not in the practices, but whatever he is doing, he's not earning his way onto the court. He is not playing well enough when he is on the court to make that work. So I'll tell you, I think the best thing, I'm just finishing up in our tracker. I was just putting together the news and notes on it. And it's like, I found Jared Vanderbilt, Jalen Brunson was at Vanderbilt. That was somehow hard to say tonight. Back at college, I guess getting his jersey retired or something. Somebody shows him the tweet saying the deal got done. And he's walking around, arms in the air, using words I cannot use on your radio show to express his excitement. He's pumped up, and I think the Knicks fans are in the same place. Like, Josh Hart is just a rock-solid rotation player that you can count on night in and night out. And you had to give up a first to get him, but you can count on him. And that's the kind of guy they could use more of.
All right, so the Lakers, are they done as far as the trade deadline? What else is sitting out there? I know Anunoby is out there. Fred VanVleet is out there. What other deals are you monitoring and expect we could see before tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah, I don't know if the Lakers are going to get much more done. I think that I don't know that they have the assets to really nail down much anymore. We'll see. Or anything big anyway. Something on the fringes maybe. That Toronto remains, and I imagine I've said this to you, I believe anybody talking basketball you've had on has said this, everybody's watching Toronto. Everybody's waiting. Is it just going to be Gary Trent Jr., or are we going to get to see some of the other guys there? Are we going to get to see OG Anunoby's kind of the swing. Fred VanVleet is really interesting. There's a lot of teams calling about him. A lot of teams would like to have him at the point, including the Los Angeles Clippers, who are rumored to want Russell Westbrook if he gets bought out. But Fred VanVleet's the gold standard. I don't know what they're going to do. Nobody's quite sure what they're going to do here. We're 24 hours from the deadline, and they're talking to a lot of people, but nobody's quite sure who might be on the move. I don't think it'll be Pascal Siakam. I kind of thought for a while that Fred VanVleet would be on the move, but that might be the biggest name tomorrow. That's the guy to kind of watch. And outside of that, it's probably going to be smaller stuff, some stuff on the fringes.
Kurt Helin joining us, Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com. All right, the Kyrie deal, your take. Does he fit with Luka? Is it just a wait and see? And it's almost like a rental for Mark Cuban and this Mavericks team, and sort of take a flyer and see if you can make a deep run into the postseason and convince Kyrie to stay on a deal that's more friendly towards the team. Give me your take on the Kyrie deal.
Yeah, I think I think the Laker move, giving up the first that they were so hesitant to give up, and the Kyrie move have one thing in common, which is what we said a couple minutes ago. Denver's not scaring anybody. Yeah, well, Denver's good. Don't get me wrong, but there isn't. If those teams were in the East and they were looking up and seeing Boston and Milwaukee, I think they'd be hesitant to make a move. But there's this idea that the West is still wide open. So why not take a flyer? Kyrie, I think that what you're going to get is elite offense in Dallas. Kyrie Irving meshing with Luka Doncic should lead to a very potent offense. They've got shooting everywhere. Reggie Bullock's 5 of 6 from 3 already. Now he's tearing it up. They've got shooting everywhere. They got bigs who space the floor. They are going to be really hard to defend. And they were also 24th in defense and just sent the best defender out of the building. So I don't, and this is kind of how I feel about everybody out west now, which is they can win a series. Luka's already a problem. Now their offense, they're just going to score a ton of points. But do they have the versatility and the kind of if you're going to win 3 series and make it to the finals, you kind of have to play different styles at points, and you've got to be able to match up different ways. And I just don't think they do. I think that they're kind of a one-trick pony, but maybe that's enough. We'll see. We'll see. I like the roll of the dice, though. I think that's, hey, go for it and see what happens. I'm really curious what happens this summer. How long do you want to be in the Kyrie Irving business, man?
You know my answer to that. I don't want to be in it at all. Like I said, I wouldn't even give him 1-year deals. I'd give him 1-week deals because he's that flaky. I got 45 seconds. What was it like to be a witness to history last night?
The energy in the building was fantastic. And I mean, you followed them. I'm not sure Laker fans totally embraced LeBron before last night. He came on the heels of Kobe. His one title when they didn't win that first year. They win the title in the bubble. Nobody's at the game. There's nobody in Staples. You're watching it at home alone on TV. You couldn't even go to bars because of the thing. This was the first time I'd really seen the city and the Laker fans really embrace LeBron that way. And it was honestly, it felt like a finals game in there. It was electric.
Yeah, and it almost felt like they were re-embracing Kareem again too in that moment.
Yes.
It felt like it was
Yes.
his night. It felt like it was his moment as much as it was LeBron's last night in so many regards. The respect and love shown for the captain. Listen, I always appreciate it, Kurt. I know you're extremely busy. Thanks for coming by. We'll talk again soon. Thank you, my friend.
Take care.
Kurt Helin, Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com, giving us some time on the show. Got as much as I could possibly get out of him in 10 minutes tonight. No hurt. Jordan Poole had 38 tonight in a loss. Ja had 34 tonight. I don't think so. Laser pointers. Laser. Pelicans tonight won and got 22 points from their bench. That was it. Entire bench, 22. By comparison, the Hawks got 22 alone off the bench from Bogdanović. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Hurrah. It's the game inside the game.
Let's welcome our newest ESPN insider, Blue.
Thanks. I think my shell is blending into the graphics. I told you the blue screen could be a problem.
What? Oh, no, it may have accidentally just played on my end. That happens from time to time. That's why I always have to have my pot down if I have an ESPN tab open. Do people still have satellite dishes, like DirecTV and stuff, or do they just... Do you? Because you could just stream anything. You could stream DirecTV. Oh, I had a dish. I had DirecTV. A couple different times in my life. Do, 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 do. All right, Waste Management Phoenix Open is always a part of Super Bowl weekend. And this year it's the double. I'll take a double. Because this weekend you have the Super Bowl in Phoenix. And when I went, the last time the Super Bowl was in Phoenix, I actually went to, I don't know if it was the final round or if I went on Saturday, but I went to the Waste Management Phoenix Open. And it was good. It was fun. It was a good time. I did not get to go to the 16th hole, the stadium hole with all the people there. So last year, you may recall, there were a couple of hole-in-ones on the famous 16th hole, the stadium hole. Sam Ryder and Carlos Ortiz had hole-in-ones. And people went nuts and started throwing beer cans and water bottles and all this stuff onto the course. And it became a real nightmare. So you knew there was going to be a reaction, if not an overreaction, from the PGA Tour. So this year, what they've decided to do, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan, who described last year's scenes as unacceptable and vowed to address him, he's made good on his promise. GolfMonthly.com has the story. The PGA Tour has announced all alcoholic beverages on the 16th will be served in free commemorative plastic cups. Because you can't do much damage throwing a plastic cup onto a golf course, right? So instead, you're going to have a bunch of people just throwing full cups. It's just going to be... it still has a potential for disaster. It's supposed to be one of the coolest things in all of sports, though. The 16th at TPC Scottsdale. Which, by the way, is on the complete opposite side of the city from where the Super Bowl is. Scottsdale is east of downtown Phoenix. Glendale is west of downtown Phoenix. So if you're going to those events, you got a bit of a schlep to get back and forth across town. But it's always cool if somebody hits a hole-in-one. I'm looking at this picture, though, of last year with all the cans raining down on this hole. And the number of people there. I mean, that's got to be the most nerve-wracking shot in all of golf. Even more than the 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Is that Sawgrass? The one in where they do the Players Championship. Yeah. That's got to be. This has to be even more nerve-wracking because there's so many people there, and they'll boo you if you hit a bad shot. Like it's not your standard golf crowd. Like people there are just there to be loud and somewhat obnoxious. But that'd be cool. I definitely have to do that one of these years, especially living out here on the West Coast. There's really no excuse. I got to get tickets and go see that one of these years. Speaking of fun events, did you know Live Golf is making no money? Zero. Zilch. Nada. In a filing in their antitrust lawsuit or whatever against the PGA Tour, Live Golf revealed that in its first year of operations, their revenues were virtually zero. And I say this before and I'll say it again. I'll say it again. It's a gas, son. If you are these PGA Tour players that defected to go to Live Golf, and you're getting your payout, but you can't return to the PGA Tour, and you find out that this tour made zero revenue in 2022, how are you feeling about the odds of this thing going a long time? Do you think I know the Saudis print money and they could, find oil anywhere and all of that stuff. That's all great. But they're not going to want to lose money year after year after year with this. And I'm sorry, the CW is not going to bring sponsors to their knees. Putting Live Golf on the CW, it's not going to make tons of money. So I wonder if some of these players are having second thoughts right now. Or if they're just like, hey, I got my payday, who cares? If I never get to play on the PGA Tour again, who cares? I got $100 million, or I got $10 million, or I got $25 million, depending on who the player is. But not a good look. Not a good look for Live Golf when they had to stand up in court and say, oh, by the way, our revenues, they're zero. Not a penny. Is Kyle Busch going to be punished by NASCAR? So I don't know how these things go down. You know, how the law works in Mexico versus how it works in the United States. But two-time NASCAR Cup champion Kyle Busch was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison after violating Mexican gun laws while he was on vacation last month. 3.5 years. That's hard time. He confirmed the incident in a statement on social media Monday, adding he returned home to North Carolina and his family says the issue's closed. He said he, quote, accepted the penalties, but it isn't clear how his 42-month prison sentence was resolved. He was also fined the equivalent of, get this, 20,748 pesos. Wow, it's a big fine. Until you realize 20,748 pesos is really just under $1,110. You ever seen that movie Meet the Millers? The scene where they're coming out of Pablo Chicon's compound, and the cop stops him and says, "Hey, I want my bribe." I won't go to too much detail because we're not in safe harbor yet. But he goes, "I'll just take my bribe." And he was like, "How much?" And he's like, 2,000 pesos. He's like, "Wait, that's like $25. Okay." That's what happened. So I wonder what NASCAR is going to do. So he got in trouble for having a gun in Mexico. And he says, look, my gun was it was all legal in the U.S. and my local jurisdiction and all of that's fine. But I just wonder if NASCAR is going to do anything about it. I got to be honest. Yeah. And I just think he thought he'd probably get away with it, to be honest. Not even the celebrity thing. You just probably figure it's more lax and they're not going to check because he was obviously he was able to leave the U.S. with it because he flew down there and then he couldn't fly back. I honestly don't. I'll say this: if he's got a legal gun permit in the U.S. and all that stuff, I don't think he should be punished by NASCAR. It is funny. Last but not least, note to Fernando Tatis: shut up, get your together, and then start making guarantees. Fernando Tatis, who wasn't even on the field when his team needed him the most last year, is guaranteeing a World Series for the San Diego Padres. While he was yeah, it's true. You do a good job of it. I appreciate it. I don't know. At the Padres Fan Fest over the weekend, Tatis was obviously front and center with Manny Machado, Juan Soto, and Xander Bogaerts. God, that's a good team. But not by saying that. Because now all year long, there's going to be the pressure on them. Tatis Jr. put this bad omen, bad juju, if you will, on the Padres for the upcoming season when he answered fans' questions at the event. Who do you think you'll face in the World Series? Tatis, it doesn't matter because we still going to win it all, he said. Dave Roberts predicted a World Series. Didn't work out too well. Just saying. I mean, Padres are going to be good, but that's still a beast of a division. San Francisco is going to be a little bit better. You know what the Dodgers are. Even the Rockies. The Rockies got a prospect. Man, I can't think of his name. Rocky's got a prospect, and I've got one of a numbered to 50 rookie card, minor league card of his, autographed, numbered to 50. Gorgeous card. Where's his name? Ezequiel Tovar. You want a guy to watch this year? Watch Ezequiel Tovar. Played last year in New Haven, Hartford, Connecticut in the AA, and then came up late in the season and hit a home run. Guy's gonna be really good. 7 weeks till baseball season. Just get me there, man. I could do baseball all day. It's going to be a wrap for us. Nice job tonight, Brian. We'll see you back on Sunday. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Thanks to Robert Littal and Kurt Helin. I'm Jason Page. We'll see you back here on Thursday for the Cash In on SportsMap Radio. Bye! Thank you, sir. Thanks for sending me the hours, too. I will talk to you on Sunday. And no worries. Okay. Thank you, sir. Be well. Bye. For those watching on the video side, that does it for us as well. Back here on Thursday. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. And stay safe. I'll see you all later.